I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Ashley Yao. Ashley is a transportation plangineer for Lochner and self-proclaimed transportation professional taking the scenic route. Her main mission in life is to protect vulnerable road users and create an effective transportation system for all. Her side quests, like pageantry, dance, and music, bring her joy and community. Her love for communities motivates her to work diligently in ensuring everyone gets home safely to their loved ones. Let's give a huge round of applause for Ashley Yao.
Thank you, Alice. Again, hello, I'm Ashley Yao. I'm a transportation engineer and planner, plangineer as we like to say in the industry, and a current Miss Asian Global Miss Imagine Talks. For me, earning this title was a personal challenge to see if I could advocate for myself and my social platform, Safer Futures. Safer Futures is derived from my life, my career, and my hope for a better world. The opening sentence of my Miss Asian Global social platform speech went like this. How are you getting home today? Keep this in mind, there's going to be a quiz later. Before we begin, I want to thank my sponsors for supporting me and allowing me to be on stage today. Thank you to Lochner, thank you to the Miss LA Chinatown alumni, thank you to Chester Chong, thank you to the Riverside Chinese community, the Lawn family, the Reeves family, my family, and friends. Additional thanks go out to Janice, Francis, Lisa, and my fiance for helping me prepare the speech today. So thank you, everyone. As a kid, I knew I was going to be a civil engineer. In 3rd grade, I told my mom I wanted to be an architect. And my mom said, don't be an architect. Architects make no money and have no job security. Go be a civil engineer. And sorry to the architects in the house, my mom was correct about which pathway I should take. And sorry to my mom, turns out civil engineers also don't make a lot of money. I thought I wanted to be an architect because growing up, I would construct buildings out of anything I could find, Legos, Jenga blocks, cardboard scraps, and I would draw street intersections and carefully place my buildings. And my sister and I would spend hours playing in these cities I created. For example, your Beanie Baby cargo is going to go and take the train to see and get tea with strawberry shortcake in Carpet Town. And only later would I realize that I was designing cities for people to live in. It was also around this time that my grandfather passed away. Today is actually very special to me. It marks the 17th anniversary of his passing. Growing up, my grandparents helped take care of me. Agong would cook, Apo would help keep me out of mischief, and when hurt, they would rub Ping-on ointment on my bruises to the point where I thought it was called Agong Yao Yao, or grandfather's ointment. I fondly recall my grandfather practicing Tai Chi on the patio or reading his Chinese Bible and putting on his glasses. His approach to life as a lifelong learner and his care for others are qualities I pride myself on today. His passing was sudden and unexpected. My grandparents had just moved to a senior housing facility, and that left me feeling very lonely. And then amplified by his passing, I struggled with childhood depression for years. Until one day, I heard at church a sister's testimony. She shared about her struggle with depression and how God put a hand on her shoulder when she was at her lowest, and she felt less alone. When she shared that story, I felt less alone too. And I share this part of my story today in hopes that it resonates with someone else here and they too feel less alone. My grandmother always has to remind me, "내아공 지종이네." Your grandfather loved you the most. People handle loss differently. For me, grief carries me forward with love. Additionally, I try my best to honor the memories of those I've lost. I'm very fortunate to have combined this purpose with my passion for the built environment. I ended up studying civil engineering at Cal Poly SLO and urban planning at UCLA, and making the transition from studying engineering to planning was challenging to say the least. On one hand, as good Asian kids do, I was very good at math and physics. I also learned so much about standards and codes and building materials and how to use them. And I knew all this technical information, but I knew so little about the communities we should serve and how our built environment came to be. I remember the first day I moved to LA. I'm from Riverside, so moving from the suburbs to the city, I was like, oh my gosh, I hate Los Angeles. The traffic is the worst. And I recall I felt like it was so antithetical moving to Los Angeles to study transportation. 6 years later, it's the city I've lived in the longest. I've learned how strong and resilient communities can be, and I've learned how a car-centric built environment is not naturally an active choice that we make. At the end of the day, I love LA. So I'm asking you again, how are you getting home today? For me, I'm taking a plane later. Can I get a show of hands for those of you who walked here? Okay. Those of you who biked here. Those of you who took the bus or transit. Oh my gosh. I did not expect this. Those of you who drove. Oh wow, that is a very overwhelming majority. According to the US Census, approximately, I thought 75% of you would have driven here today. The census is apparently underestimating. And how you got here today and how you're going home is important to me, because a few of my friends have not made it home safely. A pivotal moment of my life was when my high school friend passed away in a car crash. It was Halloween, and she was the passenger of a drunk driver. And if you had known her, you would have known her grace and her joy. We had the same birthday, so her passing always resounds very deeply within me. Another one of my friends passed away on a car-on-bike collision. He's an avid biker, and he worked in my industry, and his legacy of transportation safety advocacy has been turned into a scholarship at my university, and I try my best to honor it today. Oh, sorry. Just give me 1 second. So how do we do this? As a transportation professional in one of the most complex multimodal systems in the United States, and based on my personal experiences, an unsurprising fact is that traffic collisions are the leading preventable cause of death in the United States. As a transportation professional, I want to help our communities avoid crashes. I want to protect the most vulnerable on our roads and create an effective transportation system for all. How do we do this in practice? The project that I most recently finished is a traffic study of a pickup drop-off period at an elementary school. It's a pretty standard parking lot. There's a pickup drop-off lane right there. And from my field observations, something that I noticed is that students basically had to walk in the way of traffic, either crossing a driveway or a parking lot to access the school doors if they were driving or walking to school. Another traffic safety concern was that parents would park in the parking lots across the street and jaywalk because they deemed the pickup drop-off lane to be too inefficient. And the pickup drop-off lane is inefficient. Some parents would also park in the pickup drop-off lane and then get out and escort their child to the school doors. The traffic flow is supposed to go that counterclockwise, and a lot of parents would drive in and go the opposite way. This and a lot of other safety traffic violations that I saw created a very slow pickup drop-off lane. I would love to say that this school is a unique case, but if you've ever picked your child up from school, or based on a multitude of studies I've done, this school is no exception. In this scenario, we came up with recommendations that included a valet system for students to help other students get out of the car and unload safely as well as efficiently. We also recommended adding more staff members in strategic locations to help navigate vehicle and pedestrian conflicts. An example of a larger project that I'm working on is the City of Buellton Traffic Calming Program. Does anyone know where Buellton is? Okay. Buellton, you know where Buellton is. You know, it's a great Central Coast road stop. Wine, yes. Pea soup, yes, split pea soup. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Buellton is located on the US 101 between San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara. And looking at it, you can see that it's basically quartered by the State Route 246 and US 101. And this means that you see these freeways, people go very fast through this small town. And the community was growing increasingly concerned with unsafe speeding. And rightfully so, because the probability of a traffic collision being fatal increases with speed. With the guidance of a licensed engineer, I developed two conceptual plans that are supposed to promote slower travel speeds as well as increase safety for pedestrians and cyclists. Very specifically, the traffic calming program measures that we implemented included narrowing the lanes, reducing the number of lanes, implementing protected bike lanes, and adding flashing beacons to the crosswalks. We presented these ideas to the city, and hopefully in a few years, you'll see a safer Buellton. Outside of work, I used my Miss Asian Global platform to hand out reflective trick-or-treat bags this Halloween in honor of my friend's passing. I set up sessions at tutoring programs as well as libraries to hand out the bags and have informative sessions on Halloween safety. The bags are intended to increase children's visibility when trick-or-treating by being reflective, and when oncoming vehicles with their lights hit the bag, it makes them more visible. These examples are drops in a bucket of things that I do, and a bucket in an ocean of what more needs to be done to create better systems. In just 4 years of my career, I've worked on over 100 projects. I have so much respect for the seasoned professionals in my industry for their impact and their prowess as problem solvers. I always feel like there's more to be done. There's another person to help. There's another project. There's another community. There's another cause to support because we exist. Contemplating death has always been a subject that leads me back to love. As someone who's lived in proximity to death, this is a quote from one of my favorite books, All About Love by Bell Hooks. It also contains my favorite understanding and definition of love. Love is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. What I do in my life and my career is a combination of love, compassion, and purpose. I want to prevent others from experiencing some of the loss that I have in a way that is authentic to me. I truly believe everyone deserves to get home safely to their loved ones. Because from that point on, there will be infinite opportunities to love and to be loved. So may your love transform the world, and let's build a better future together. Thank you and drive safe.